Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is 2:36 a.m. Wednesday morning, May 7th, 2014. It's actually been a bit since I've gotten to record upgrades here. My nephew and I did do some Skyliner stuff. Star Strike vs. World, kind of a cool little series there. If you have not seen that, check that out. Let us know what you think. More importantly, if it's something you enjoy and you'd like to see us take someone like, say, Scorp, who I'm currently upgrading here, go through, compete against other Skyliners. You can even spec out the Skyliners. We'll try to make it happen for you. Bear in mind right now, sometimes I'd have fully maxed out Skyliners. Sometimes we'll have Skyliners with nothing, totally pock stock. So eventually we'll get to the point that they're all upgraded. However, as you should know at this point in time, I'm going about this very tedious fashion, something I'm really interested in, fully documenting the upgrades in terms of damage at each turn. Left off, I kind of did like an Earth Day extravaganza, and then I have basically been ridiculously busy previously this past week. This one's pretty busy too, but this past week was just insanely nuts. I basically got no time to do anything like this. So where we're at now, I just took this guy through. Instead of me going in and watching my own video, Scorp's base upgrades to get the damage numbers, I just took my second Scorp, who's currently on the portal, and did it that way, so I've got fresh experience here with everything. And what I'm actually going to do, if I just had one Scorp, no doubt in my mind, I could be wrong, but if I just had one Scorp, I would take Crystal Venomancer. To me, it just looks like it would be the better path for my personal playstyle. What I like about it, you're going to do increased damage, from your emerald crystal, if you will, but it's also going to basically come in and, cover a wider area. Personally, I find that I use that a little bit more than the stinger path. You can fire it off slightly quicker. A lot of people complain about his tail sting. It's actually not that bad of a reload time, but that's what I would do. And however, this is my second Scorp. I know the difference because this one's still in the packaging. That's again the sole reason I leave them in the packaging. But we're going to go ahead here and we will actually take the stinger path first. Stinger, of course, is his secondary attack, if you will. So I'm doing this differently. I'm sitting in my chair. It's like a 1950s ice cream parlor chair. So if you hear some like ridiculously loud creaks like this, don't worry. If I hit the ground, you will definitely be able to discern that sound. Now, what we'll do, back out here again, and I took care of his personal quest, which is actually probably, I used to always tell you when we had heroic challenges, I'm like, hey, you're going to want to do double troubles, zaps, heroic challenges before upgrading. This is probably one of those quests, a lot of times, if you upgrade a Skylander like Boomjet, for example, you can actually whip through their quests, like nobody's business. Sometimes even the paths kind of help you out. Scorps, it's kind of a weird, it's not really weird, but it's just one of those deals. If you actually have him fully upgraded, it will be harder to do that. You'll basically need tougher enemies, and so box stock, you can come in and get some of the like lower key enemies. Like the way I did it was in the very first solo survival deal, but nonetheless, all that's another story, another day. We're going to go ahead and take the Stinger upgrade path here. Use lightning fast tail stings to debilitate enemies. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Yes, we're sure. Again, I like that they give you this warning box. Since this is a new lander, think back to SSA, if you will, you can't switch paths. If you hate Stinger path, your choice is to buy another Scorp and take Crystal Venomancer, or reset your first character. Again, I am a huge Earth Element fan, and Scorp thus far, granted I've hardly upgraded any new landers, but Scorp is easily my favorite at this point, and that's just based on his base upgrades too. So he's going to begin with Fuming Fissure. Press A to strike the ground with a poison tail and cause a large shockwave that shoots out towards enemies. This is 1088. Again, bear in mind I've got 18 wing sapphires, full 36% discount here. So we'll go ahead and grab that, kind of see what we can't do. I don't think we can, we could get the soul gem, but let's save that for the grand finale here. Yeah, let's just do them one at a time. So, pressing A, I'm guessing this will just do the shockwave. Let me look here. I've got my handy-dandy spreadsheet, and where we left off, Tail Sting had gotten 0 upgrades. It's just the base attack still, because we got tertiary armor, which is awesome, not being tied in with a path, and then the other 2 were actually addressing emerald crystal. So Tail Sting has been totally ignored until we get to this path. So that might actually be incentive for some of you to take this path. But we'll come in here and let's see what he can do if I hit the right button here. Alright, so pretty much generic there, but let's see what we can do. I'm trying to figure out just what the shockwave does. Where it left off, Tail Sting was like 12 to 18 on your initial hit, and then 10 to 15 6 times after. That's when you kind of see like the green poison glow. So let's try to come way back here. Okay, that's actually, let's check the radius on this thing. Alright, Mr. Scorp impressing once again. I can't really see the dummy here. Okay, so that did not make it to the dummy. That said, it's pretty impressive range. I don't know that it's doing anything different. Let's see here. Okay, wow, that actually got both of those guys. I think we could line this up and I could probably hit 3 of them. Granted, you can't see that now. Let's try it. Nope, can't see that. Alright, well, we'll try this one. Just off course there. Bear with me. Yeah, check that range out. We got all 3 of these dummies, which was pretty awesome. 12. It's really hard to see what's going on. Not lined up now. So we got our 18. Yeah, I don't know if maybe just the... I think only the very first one you make contact with is going to take the damage. Because basically what we're going to see is 12 to 18. When you see the 15s like on that middle dummy, that's actually from the poison. There's some huge number in there, I can't quite see. Let me just count on the 50. Yeah, so we had the 6 hits on the front, now I'll check middle. It's really hard to count that. Okay, for whatever reason, it's easier for me to count the back dummy, and it actually worked out just fine. Got all 6 hits there. I feel like I'm seeing a 23 or something. I am not quite sure what. There's our weird camera angle, which actually it works well here, but we'll be stuck here probably this entire recording session. No clue why it just randomly did that, but it did. So, nonetheless, this kind of gives you an idea what it looks like from this angle, I guess, since we're stuck here. So, you get the idea. When we go from this front dummy to the back dummy, you know that that's a pretty good radius there. So, that is actually fairly impressive. Now we just have to make do with this weird angle now the entire time. It doesn't auto-correct, you know. What will come in now, we'll get Scorpion Strike. This might have been something that makes sense to me to actually be first. I guess in theory they'd want you to like spend your money and then get this, you know. But for 1408, poison from Tail Strike does increase damage. So again, all that one really did is just basically give us the shockwave, and then the shockwave in turn apparently carries the poison, so that's pretty nice. I kind of, when I hear shockwave, I kind of think of like radius, you know, like circular, not, you know, straight line or linear, but nonetheless, I mean, it's still going to be pretty cool and helpful. If it was circular, it would be really awesome. I mean, just picture yourself like in an arena challenge surrounded by enemies. You shut down Fuming Fissure, and just everything around you goes up with poison damage, 10 to 15, 6 times. Now this is going to increase the poison. I'm guessing that our initial hit of 10 to 12 is going to stay. I'm sorry, 12 to 18 will stay the same. But only way to know is to purchase it and find out. So since it said poison, that's why I'm thinking. Then again, I guess they can assume that your initial hit is poison. You just kind of have to see what happens here. Oh wow, I think that was a 35. Yeah. Okay, let me start counting here. Okay, so 35, I forgot to put that in my spreadsheet, the previous one. 35 to 53 on impact, 14 to 21 poison, and I'm thinking it was still 6 times. Let's try to make sure. Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm getting just 5 now. Why are we just doing 5? This is weird. Okay, I'm getting 5 now. Granted, our initial impact is like way better, but still that kind of offsets the gain, marginalizes it, if you will. Let's see what we're going to look like now with our fuming fissure factored in here. Still got that great range, 35 on the initial hit, 14 to 21 across the rest of the board. So I feel pretty good with those numbers. I think we'll roll with that. Again, these really should go faster. It's just I want to be thorough in the documentation since I'm taking the time to do it, and as you know, sometimes critical numbers rarely come by. Potent Poisons is our last one. 1920. Press A to strike with a poison tail that now damages enemies over a longer amount of time. Now, in these cases, I'm not as concerned about if it's 8 seconds going to 15. I'm concerned about how many times I see a damage number. So I'm guessing the 14 to 21 is going to stay the same on the poison hits, but we should see them greater frequency than 5 times. So let's pick it up and find out. This actually isn't too bad of a path. And again, he's fairly salty. Crystal Venomancer, which is the base upgrade with the Emerald Crystal. So this is very much a feasible path. But let's just try to count this out here. I got 9 that time. Still 14 to 21, so that's expected, but I think I had 9. Let me get over here so we can just focus on this guy. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got 8 that time, so let's redo. Okay, I got 9 that time. It was like a 1-2 at the beginning. I got 9 again, and what I'm seeing, I've got my initial hit of 35 or 53, but then I'm seeing 15 on the very first one, and then the series of 14s or 21. So let's see if we see 35 or 53 on impact, and then a 15, a real rapid succession followed immediately by a 14 or 21. Not that time, I only counted 8. Huh. Yeah, I'm only getting 8 when I don't have that freak 15 in there. Now that time, okay. What I think it is, if you have the shockwave, potent poisons, I'm going to put 35 to 53 on impact, 15 to 21 poison, 9 times with shockwave, or 8 times without SW, because I try to keep the things short here. So hopefully that makes sense to you on the spreadsheet. Again, top of the video description, you'll have a link there. It'll take you to a spreadsheet where you can see all this stuff. And if you watch the video, the spreadsheet should make perfect sense. If you look at the spreadsheet by itself, it should make sense. If it doesn't, watch the video and you should be home free. Now, I'm content with that, so what we're going to do is check out his soul. Well, before we do the soul gem, right now his boulder roll, not what I had anticipated. I thought it would be like a prolonged deal, and I very well may have gotten a critical hit. Okay, yeah, it's 68, which we just saw right there, fittingly. But it's one of those ones, it's a very, very rare critical hit. But, I mean, you can hold X down and he's only going to do it this one time. So it's just a real quick roll forward. Basically like, what, 3-4 character lengths, we can say. And 45 to 68, the biggest asset there, number one, that's a lot of damage for him instantaneously. But number two, it's a speed boost for him, and he could definitely use that, in my opinion. That's really his glaring weakness. However, if you take a look at his soul gem, pretty cool here. Avalanche Dash. It's kind of a strange name since he's Earth, you know, and he's a scorpion. You don't really think of an avalanche, but nonetheless, you know, it could have been Desert Dash. Actually, that would have actually been a really good name. Anyway, maybe like if he gets a WoW power, it'll be Desert Dash, and it'll leave cactuses behind. I don't know. If anyone steals that from me, like a developer, it would be nice if I got mentioned. But that makes a lot of sense to me at 3 in the morning, you know. Soul Gem, though, with a discount, 25.60. Avalanche Dash, hold X to curl up into a ball and roll around. Dashing now lasts as long as X is held. So his glaring weakness, in my opinion, was the lack of speed. This pretty well takes care of that. Now, if every time we roll into something we're doing 45 to 68, that is gravy. So, obviously, if this was perfect, it would last longer and you'd do more damage. Even if 45 to 68 became like 50 to 75, it'd be much appreciated. I think it's going to stay the same. That said, that's still pretty salty damage, particularly considering this should be a very quick speed type move, as kind of the box art indicates there. But more importantly, again, very, very quick way to do some quick damage. So we'll pick this up. This Scorp is now fully maxed out down the Stinger path. And we're going to back out of here. Ultimate test here is simply going to be what this looks like. Okay, not quite as quick as I had hoped. But, I mean, 45 to 68, you can run. Let's roll into the wall here. Yeah, I just keep rolling. I mean, it looks like he'd be going way faster, let's be honest. And I mean, to his credit, he's moving fairly quickly, but the main thing I like, 45 to 68 now. The wild card here is say that those dummies were actual enemies, maybe some tough enemies. If I roll into them and do my damage and then they hit me, do I pop out of the roll? So I'll investigate that, but we'll just stick 45 to 68 continuous. We'll just call it continuous. Okay, I think that's spelled correctly. Anyway, speed of 35. I mean, you get the idea. Let's come to Gorm, that's a fixed position, and go to the launch pad. So we'll just count down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 seconds. I mean, that's not, you know, technical counting, but I'm gonna do the same. We'll position ourselves at Gorm turn, and I'm gonna roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I mean, you get the idea. He does move quicker. It's just, initially, like right now, if I just tap X, he goes way quicker. I guess it's because he's like diving into the roll. But nonetheless, I cannot complain too much about that. So I'm pretty content with that. What I'm going to do now off camera, I'll pull this package Scorp that we took down the Stinger path. I'll stick on my regular Scorp, and we will explore the Crystal Venomancer path. Which again, if I just had one Scorp, not knowing anything, that's the path I would pick. So pretty excited to check it out. Hopefully this helps you out. Again, the link at the top of the video description box box takes you to a post dedicated to nothing other than Scorp. You will find his base upgrade videos, the video here for Stinger, the video for the Crystal Venomancer path, along with the spreadsheet that documents damage numbers, time, hits, everything like that. And ultimately it should help you pick the correct path for Scorp, research the other path, decide if you need to get a second Scorp, everything like that. See if you want to reset your character. All the information there should help you out. That's the ultimate goal there. So again, hopefully this helps you out. I'm going to come right back and do Crystal Venomancer, and so far so good on the frame count, so that's a good sign, and I will catch y'all back here for Crystal Venomancer.